It's only very abstract old world thinking that makes us think, oh, I want to go and stop whoever out there in the world. Of course we all do, but that's actually not where our path lies, because nature is giving us a set of instructions and structures, and we're adding our own excitement out of our real everyday reality, which is keeping us more than busy. You haven't even got time to go over and disconnect whoever it is in the States, even if you wanted to, and you could.
No, I don't really want to. I was just trying to find like something right far out there compared to what, like, I'm digging holes to put fences for wild boar in the ground.
That's where the solution is, you see. The solution is digging the holes and putting up the fences. And this is the big lie that we've been fed. You've got to go and save the world, or set up this, or you've got to petition, whoever it is in government. It's all a big lie. Nothing's ever going to happen if you do those things. And people are working it out. Oh, yeah, I've been saying that for years, haven't I? Nothing ever changes. Yeah, that's right. It's because it only changes in the everyday with what you're doing. And we've all been conned into doing less and less in service to this deception, which says, if you join in the right way with us, we can all do it. It's bullshit. You can't do anything through that channel. So
if we want to see change in the world, we change ourselves.
You don't even need to change yourself. That's a lie as well. You're already changing naturally every day. Haven't you noticed? Whether you try to stop it or not, you can't. It's all it is about is not getting in the way of it that's already happening, and staying focused on what's already happening in you. We get pulled off and then we hook on to something else.
So, and is that enough for complete planetary change here on Earth?
Well, so the strange thing is that barely anyone on the planet has tried it. And as soon as you start trying it, the sea change is incredible, because suddenly, if you're in charge of putting a post in the hole you've dug, you're going to get it done within, I bet you, a few days. But if you expect Elon Musk to come and do it for you, it will never happen.
So is that the ladder to sovereignty then, is just to take care of our own shit, where it's within and without?
Not quite. Because sovereignty also, it depends what definition you're talking about. First of all, the only sovereignty is purity and source connection. You don't get a say there. Nobody does. And that's not a negative thing. It's not a dictatorship. It's just nature's way. And that's how it's hooked up on this planet. Then you've got the type of sovereignty that says, right, I'm going to dig this hole and I'm going to put my own post in it, whatever happens. Okay. That's the type of sovereignty that then comes second. And that's the real sovereignty. And that sovereignty doesn't expect anybody else to dig the hole, and it waits until you get the idea or the push from inside. Oh yeah, today is the day. And that comes from nature. That's the type of sovereignty we've got. Then after that, you can talk about legal sovereignty, personal sovereignty in relation to any external situation, which actually is a third type, which is some things that you also sometimes have to learn a bit about as well. But that comes a much further down the process, because that's about things that you add on. The only sovereignty is nature, and arguably we don't have any sovereignty there at all, because that's much wiser than us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my understanding is when I talk of the word sovereignty, it's always about how I feel, as opposed to what I can achieve in some kind of paperwork.
Absolutely.
For me, it feels that that's so much more stronger to hold that energy of that feeling of, like you call it, the no, right?
That's it. And it's the right also to be wrong and right. There's a great deal of shame that's been introduced into our societies if you're wrong about something. Sovereignty is about the equal right to be right as well as wrong, as long as you are taking some responsibility for your life and going, oh actually, I found out that wasn't correct, then I'm going to do it this way, which is what we do all the time anyway. Then that sovereignty is the light and the dark. Whereas there's a lot of sovereignty definitions, even in spiritual movements and more empowered movements, that sovereignty will always be correct. It's not always correct, but it is owned and it is managed by yourself.